How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. So I wanted to make sure I put this update video out for you guys. I've been getting those questions. Dre, is now the time to buy? It has pulled back quite a bit. So I'm going to make sure I'll talk about it in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $19.13, being down 3.82%. On the low, it tested $19.10, and then on the high, testing $20.26. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, we traded at 10.396 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 12.056 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and considering how choppy the markets were, I wasn't surprised by this pullback. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 33.25. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 50-day, the 100-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And you can see ChargePoint is in a bear market. And like I was saying in my previous video, if you believe in the long-term prospects like myself, I'd be looking to add to my position for ChargePoint when it's under $20. But most specifically, I'd want to catch it at the $18 range or lower. It is very possible for this to happen considering how much it has been pulling back. Of course, I'll make sure to space up my position to take advantage of further dips. Again, the dollar cost averaging approach. As far as for the bullish case scenario for ChargePoint, we end up seeing a high of $20.26. So what I'd want to see us get back to the $21 level. If we consolidate here and then make that move to come back to the 21-day EMA at $22.21, this is where I'm going to look forward to seeing ChargePoint gain even more momentum. So it's going to be very interesting to see how ChargePoint performs going into tomorrow, but don't be shocked if you see it getting down into the $18 range and possibly testing the $17 range. And this is why I wanted to make sure I put that video out for you guys so you're well aware of what my intentions are, and also to give you an update since it has been a little bit since we did a ChargePoint vid. So we're going to take a look at the short interest for ChargePoint. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 39.84%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 1.82 million shares. As we scroll down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 4.4 million, updated 11 minutes ago. And then for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.50%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 14th, it was at 40.32, and then for the close of the 15th, it was at 39.84. So it did go down a little bit, but one thing that is very clear, ChargePoint does continue to have short squeeze potential. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we can see here on the inflows at 19.28 and on the outflows at 19.88. When we take a look at the breakdown on the large, we had 0. On the medium, we had 10.21. And then on the small, we had 9.07. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 10.63. And then on the small, it was 9.25. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see we had 0 on December the 16th, which was today. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, which represents the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying, but it was still fairly close. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying, and it was still close. And of course, for the large, which we just covered, we had 0. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.21%. So this is not too bad for a growth stock like ChargePoint. We know there's a lot of volatility, but there are many who are continuing to hold on to their shares, and we do have traders going in and out of this play, and also going into tomorrow. And as well as how it's been, there has been some selling pressure. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, I do see it pulling back further going into tomorrow. We did test support at $19.10, but like I was saying, it is not a bad idea whatsoever to add to your position as far as for the long-term prospects when this stock gets down to the $18 range and possibly even getting down to the $17 range. I'm going to be using a dollar cost averaging approach because I do believe in the long term, and I'm down to hold this stock for the next 5 to 10 years. If you have a different strategy, then of course you got to do what works best for you. If you want to look forward to seeing a bullish reversal in ChargePoint, then you're going to want to see it get to at least $22.21 and then gain momentum from there. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why we see a lot of volatility overall. So continue to do your homework and do your due diligence if you're thinking about getting into this play. I want to make sure that I emphasize this because the reason why it's important, because if it pulls back even more, you will have the conviction to say, well, you know what, I'll add even more to my position. Anyone looking for a swing trade, of course, pay attention to the fact that you want to look forward to seeing this stock being in an uptrend. Right now, it is in a downtrend. It is in a bear market. So as far as the pullback, it could get fairly low. And then, of course, if you are going to be going with an entry, then you're going to want to wait for it to actually form a strong base of support and then seeing where it could go from there, and also using the right risk management to protect yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs going into tomorrow.